What's going on, y'all? This is Jesco, and I want to thank you for 100 subscribers. I'm still fairly new to art, and when I started, I just bought a sketchbook, bought a ton of watercolor paints that I had no clue how to use. I bought a ton of brushes, and I doodled and drew the best I could. So that's what is in this sketchbook. It is somebody that has no clue what they're doing and just putting stuff on paper for the most part. So don't judge me, or judge me. Who knows? There's nobody harder on my art than I am. All right, let's get to it. Boom! Okay, let's make sure that's in the shot. Okay, so 2/7/23 is when I started this sketchbook. Now, I will say there are some, it jumps around. There are some pictures in here that I did on pieces of paper and then decided to, instead of having loose pieces of artwork everywhere, I cut them out and put them in, taped them into some of the pages. This is like a guy, and this is another guy. That was supposed to be Sylvester, I think? Sylvester the cat. This was an orc. So I drew this and then I went over it with a watercolor, yeah. So I went over that with watercolor. I thought that turned out, I think that's one, actually, this is probably the best picture in the entire sketchbook. And this was supposed to be Simba. I just gave up on that. So this is just a simple watercolor landscape. You know, just some mountains and the sky. Yeah. This is some big muscle man. This is what I look like in real life, actually. So that was a self portrait of myself. I haven't got to the face yet. But that's when I got out of the shower the other day. I sat down, or actually back in February of last year. I'm bigger now. This is just a simple little pretty tree. I like this one. I like the splats. I like the red pen. And I drew the tree and then I just decided to splat some paint on it. So I know, it's odd that you can see the branches through the tree, but I do like that. Crappy heads. I didn't know what I was doing. Just fiddling, doodling. Another terrible watercolor, I don't know what you would call that, a big mess. Little heads, some watercolor exercises that I did on some scrap piece of paper and cut out. There's a couple little birds on a telephone wire. And this is from a larger painting that's on another page. Now this is a landscape of a beautiful, beautiful place called Whiterun. I used to go there a lot a few years ago. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. I lived there for a time. And I had a home on the main street there beside the blacksmith. Beautiful place. I'd love to go back there. I might go back there soon. But yeah, that's just a little watercolor landscape of where I used to live. I like how the moon turned out. I really do. But yeah, it's just a silhouette. The red-headed, luscious lip lady. That's the name of this painting. The red-headed, green-eyed, luscious lip, slightly tired, maybe? Not sure. But at the time, I did this in gouache, and at the time I was really happy with it. It still is, it's still all right, you know? Watercolor landscape. I'm having some issues here. Where you can see the mountain further back through the mountain that's in front of it. So if you look closely right here, you can see and then right here you can see. So I guess I need to just put more paint in the layers that are on top of each other to fix that. But yeah, just another watercolor landscape. I'm not sure where this is, you know, I'm not sure what this is actually. Not sure what I was referencing. But yeah, she's you know, she's tired, you know, and also doing the duck face, it looks like. Watercolor sky, yeah, that's watercolor, and then I think that is the Doc Martens bleed out bleed out, or what is it, bleed proof white for the clouds. The landscape, I like this one, though I can't take credit for it. I think I was looking at somebody's art online and just, you know, painted it pretty much. But sometimes you have to do that to learn. But I do like the way it came out. I like the colors. That is gouache. A hideous tree. Oh, that's salt right there. Yeah, I was trying out new stuff. I threw salt down, table salt down, and then did watercolors over it. And that's what you get when you do that, something like that. Like a weird haze. But yeah, that tree just turned to crap. I kept adding paint to it, trying to fix it, and it just kept getting bigger. It just became a big blob. Another little pretty tree. I love painting trees, if you haven't noticed. I really love this one. I can't take credit for this one either. I think I was looking at something online and painting it. I'm sorry, I'm really congested today too. I really love that one. That was actually my profile picture for a while. I'm very happy with that tree. I just, you know, watercolor, I literally just took a fan brush, like one of these right here, except for bigger. And I just dipped it in light yellowish green, and then I went darker, boom, and before it dried, I just kept connecting them darker, all the way down, and then and then I splatted, bam, and that's how you get the little splats. And then once it dried, I just drew I took a smaller brush and just drew the little trunk and branches. And this is just a simple gouache landscape with a tree. We got us a silhouette of a telephone pole with some clouds in the background and some little cute birds pooping. They're actually pooping. That might be a squirrel. Okay, now this takes me back. This was one of the first things I drew and painted with watercolors when I bought all my supplies. This was a few years ago. I put out a scrap piece of paper and just went to town on it. And I was very happy with how this came out at the time. You know, right now I'm looking at it and, you know, it's cute, but I had no clue what I was doing. And I was just putting paint on paper, you know, drawing what came to my mind. I don't think I was looking at anything, but maybe I was. I had to have been, because how did I know to do the different lip colors? The top lip is darker than the bottom lip. I wouldn't have known that at the time, so I must have been looking at something. But yeah, not that great. But cute in its own right. I was so happy with it, I actually took a picture of it and sent it to a friend to brag. He was probably like, why is this guy that hasn't spoken to me in a year, this 35-year-old man, sending me a weird picture of a little pink anime girl? But you know. Okay. Yes. Now we're getting into the good stuff, even though there's more bad stuff later on. I love this. This was one of my first paintings. I was like, oh man, this is great. I didn't finish it though. That's a common theme with me. Lots of unfinished things. This is watercolor. I did a light drawing underneath it, and then I went back over it with watercolor, and I didn't finish it. But I do like I even like it unfinished. It is kind of, it has a mood to it. You know what I'm saying? And then this, it was actually, I was looking at the same picture. These are both the same chick, whoever she was, I don't remember. I was looking at her and drawing her. And I like this a lot. I drew it, it's just pen. Actually, it's pencil, and then going over on top of that with pen. And then I shaded it with these Kuretake. I don't know how you say it. These Japanese watercolor pens. They're brushes on the edge, and they're watercolor, and you just like. And then I went over the outside with like this neon green, lime green gouache paint, and then I painted her eyes in the same paint. I really like the way that turned out. Look at that. Let me get a close-up on that. Can y'all see that? Or is it? Look at that. That is cool. That is cool. Oh, yeah. Terrible. Ugh. Bad. Check this out. I was so proud of this. This is a painting of a girl from a video game called Gris, I believe. I didn't play it really. But when I saw the game, I was so blown away by its art style that one night my wife had her friends over, and when that happens, I have to go hide in a room, like, because I'm super antisocial. But I'm a cool dude. I'm not one of them weird antisocials. I'm one of them cool antisocials. So I went into this room, and I had my sketchbook in there. I turned the YouTube on the TV, and then I saw this game, and I was like, whoa, and I was watching videos, and then I paused it. There was a scene like this, and I paused the video, and I just sat there and I drew this face that was on the pause screen. The game is gorgeous, but yeah, I love that. An attempt at a watercolor night sky with splashes of this right here. I love this stuff. This is bleed proof white, Dr. Martin's bleed proof white. This is like really thick, white, opaque watercolor, and then you just wet it and right on there for the stars. And I got the buildings. I was looking at something to draw this to. This is a gradient, I think you call it a gradient scale. You got darker, lighter, and all this is, all this is done by just adding more paint and some swatches, some random swatches. Another random little watercolor. I don't know what I was looking at to watch to draw this, but it turned. Now this was back when Adele was heavy, and I think she looked great heavy. I actually, you know, and congratulations to her for losing weight. I'm sure she's healthier now, but I thought she looked better heavy. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to, you know. Anyway, let's just move on. I think this looks like Adele now. Like now that she lost weight. Like it looks like a skinnier Adele. These right here are some sketches from, they're watercolor sketches from a Charles Reed book. Let me see. Watercolor Basics by Charles Reed. Charles Reed is an amazing watercolor artist. And I go through his books every now and then and do some sketches from the pages. Let me see if I can find. But yeah, this guy's awesome. Oh, here's yep, that's the eyes. So he will do a simple sketch and then go over it with watercolor. I think that's the but yeah, Watercolor Basics with Charles Reed. I have a few of his books. They are awesome, but he is very advanced, and watercolor is very hard. It's just another landscape. I think that's watercolor with a little bit of a gouache for the flowers. I really like this. I think I was looking at something and drawing it though. I really like the simplicity of it. I like how the clouds turned out too. Another landscape that I didn't finish. Some random sketches. Pretty ugly eye. Pretty ugly sketch. But you know, that's what the sketchbook is for. You know, one day I'll look back and say, oh, look where I came from. This sketch is on some paper that I bought off of Amazon. And it's like this old, rough, timey paper. I really like it. I don't know what it's called though. Oh, I don't know where this is, but this is a picture that my sister sent me on one of her vacations. She wanted me to paint. And I've not gotten around to completing it yet, but I will one day. And I love you, sister, if you're watching. Just a simple watercolor portrait, not that good. I don't think I even did an underdrawing. Maybe I did. Looks to be a hint of an underdrawing there. But I was really just throwing watercolor down. Gouache portrait of a seductive female. Her eyes almost look cat-like. But yeah, this is gouache. I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. Let's get that back in the focus. The same lady but I gave up on her. She started looking ugly. You know, I could have fixed it if I stuck with it, but ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? We got over here. Oh yeah. I'm very proud of this one. I think it's the same lady again. Wait, no, it's not the same lady. I think this is from the reference image. I think that's the same reference image, even though they don't really look the same. But I'm super happy with this one. I love the way I love how unfinished it looks. I just drew a light sketch with watercolor pencils. Then I did a light wash of watercolor, and I just kept building up the features with watercolor. And then I went over one final time with gouache, kind of to make her face pop out. I like it. It's not finished, but I think it's kind of cool looking. The same woman. And this is pretty much their first couple steps. I just went over it with a wash of burnt sienna. Just kind of putting paint down where I saw the shapes and forms of the face. And then I went over it on top of that with watercolor pencil, with the idea of going back over that with just a brush and water. Because with, you know, that's how you work with watercolor pencils. And yeah, and then I stopped. I probably went and got a sandwich or played a video game or something. Another, this is an even earlier step. This is the step before putting the watercolor pencil down. I don't know if I can find a watercolor pencil. I can't, but pretty much the next step would have been to come in here like this. You know, starting to cut out some shapes. Boom, boom. Look at me. Boom, you didn't know you were gonna get a freaking drawing session in this sketchbook tour, did you? Who does that? You know? Oh gosh. Okay, let me just stop there. She's getting crazy looking. Drawing some heads, some more practice. My wife was sitting down playing her little tap games on her phone, and I just sat there and watched her and drew that. That's my wife. I'm really happy with that. That actually looks like her. She always has that messy little mom bun. She's very beautiful, very beautiful. Some more heads. I was looking. Oh, this is the Loomis head. This is something like the Loomis head. These are noses. There's some crazy looking noses. That's from some anatomy book. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was by some guy named Bridgman. He was the book was very confusing. I was way in over my head. It was just a sphere. Now we're getting toward the end. Watercolor night landscape. Very beautiful. If I say so myself, I was very happy with this. This is the Grinch. A freehand drawing of the Grinch. I was looking at that little meme of the Grinch where he's always doing that crazy smile. That was for my Christmas YouTube short. And then I drew another one exactly like this and then painted it in watercolor, and that was another short. I don't know why I can't remember the reasoning for why I drew two. And just some more random trees. You know, trees are super fun to do in watercolor. And some swatches there. Another watercolor. Gosh, I hope you guys can see it. Another watercolor little thing. I'm not that happy with that one. Happy with this one. I was like, oh, I'm on to something now. And then this is the end, and save the best for last. My favorite, other than that portrait earlier, this is my favorite piece in the whole freaking sketchbook. You can just sit here and stare at this. Look how the colors, they're so beautiful. And they mix together, and they just, wow, it just really turned out good. Sometimes you paint stuff and it just turns out better than you thought. I am super happy with this one. This one is also a short. There's a short on my channel of this one too. just all around happy with it. I love the colors and I love the orange and the pink, and then it gets darker, and then I splash some of that Dr. Martens bleed proof white on there. And that is it. So that is my sketchbook. This is pretty much my first sketchbook. My next one is going to be a lot better. Oh, actually, my next one's going to be a little bit worse because I've already finished my next one, and it's just a little bit uglier than this one. My third one is going to be great. It's going to be good. Trust me. All the pages are going to flow together like all y'all do with your sketchbooks on YouTube. It's going to be beautiful. I appreciate you guys for watching. This is my 100 subscriber special. Please subscribe. At 200 subscribers, I'm going to do something else. I don't know quite what yet. I might do a studio tour. And yeah, I might do that. I'm not sure. But comment. I try to reply to every single comment unless you're just saying something unless you're just saying something weird and I'm like, I don't understand what this person's saying, and then I'll just like it, and then, you know. Love you guys. Thank you for 100 subscribers. And I will catch you guys later. Thank you.